Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and we are nearly upon the next expansion of Hearthstone, so we can look at the cards. If you go into My Collection, and then go into Crafting Mode, and then click Include Uncraftable Cards, and then filter down to Saviors of Uldum, shortened down to just Uldum. That is how we get to the cards. We started with the neutral, so that was a smart move because I had my most amount of energy. I won't call myself energetic by any means. Insomnia destroys that concept in people, but I was able to go through all of this pretty easily, and then we've been going through the 10 hero class cards for each hero class, of which there are 9 hero classes, so 90 cards in general. And we last did the Warlock, which means that we are at the Warrior this time, and then we will be done in totality. And that is good because I've been going for over 3 hours, and it is certainly exhausting. We're looking at the cards, so let's get this done and be done with it. The first card, the final quest, each hero is proven now to be getting a new hero class quest for this new expansion. Now, ideally, I would like to point out, as we're wrapping up here, that if it would be really nice if in the new expansion everybody gets the hero quest cards for free. That's a great way to make sure everybody plays the new quests and enjoys the new quests. On top of that, if they were to be very generous, there is a high-powered legendary card that is available for each hero class too. It'd be nice if we got those cards for free too. That wouldn't really leave a lot to motivate me to want to open more packs and get more cards for the new expansion, but as a free-to-player, I'm just going to spend the gold that I have, which is going to end up being about 50 packs, and that's pretty much it for each of my accounts. The Americas accounts 50 packs, the European accounts 50 packs, the Asian account 50 packs, which would total 150 or more. It will actually be a little bit more because I've been saving packs since that expansion. Anyways, the first card is a 1 mana. Technically it's a spell quest card. It's also a quest card. Technically it's a spell, I think, called Hack the System. Your quest is to attack 5 times with your hero. Your reward is Anrafet's Core. I have no idea what Anrafet's Core is, what effect it has, what kind of card it is. They never give you that information. There's plenty of room on the PC version to give you that information. So since we don't know that, we don't know how good this quest is. That has been true for all 9 of the hero classes. We just have no clue. They all sound good. They all sound interesting, but who knows? Next we have a 1 mana spell called Into the Fray. Give all your taunt minions in your hand +2/+2. That works good for a warrior because you very likely do have a decent amount of taunt minions in your hand, particularly if you're playing a taunt deck. It's not super hard for a warrior to attack with your hero 5 times, but it would involve using a weapon like this to do it. So you definitely would have to put some weapon cards in the warrior's deck to make it make sense to play this quest, which is then going to drastically change how you build your warrior deck in totality. Next we have a 2 mana, 2 attack, 2 health minion called the Frightened Flunky. It has taunt and a battle cry effect to discover another taunt minion, which is a little random, but if you're playing a taunt deck, this is a pretty great early game character. Next we have a 3 mana, 3 attack, 3 health minion. It's an epic quality minion. Bloodsworn Mercenary. Battlecry, choose a damage friendly minion and summon a copy of it. It's also very likely that you would have a damage friendly minion as a warrior, since a lot of the minions hurt themselves, and there are several spaces that several spells that will hurt your own minions on top of possibly hurting other your enemy minions. This is a somewhat easy way to copy a minion, but without a very specific minion in my mind that I would want 2 copies of, I don't see the full strategy there. Almost certainly the best way to use this would be to deal damage to a legendary minion and then make a copy of a legendary minion. But I don't know what legendary minion you'd want a copy of. Next we have a 3 mana 2 attack 2 durability weapon called the Livewire Lance. After your hero attacks, add a lackey to your hand. This is not bad at all. It's expensive by maybe 1 mana, but then it gives you a lackey, which then you'd have to also summon the lackey, but that's not terrible. That is the also 4th and I assume final weapon we're going to see in this expansion. So we've seen a lot more weapons in this expansion than I think we've seen in the previous 2 expansions, to say the least. Weapons have always felt like an afterthought, and now it seems like they're actually trying to bring them in. Next we have a 4 mana 3 attack 2 health minion called the Restless Mummy. It has rush, which again means that it can attack a minion on its first turn that it's played, but it can't attack the enemy hero. That would be the key phrase charge, which they hate charge, so or it seems like they hate charge. They're putting everything with charge either in wild or changing charge minions to rush minions, nerfing them. It also has reborn. Still not 100% sure whether reborn means that a minion resummons itself at the end of your turn, or if it resummons itself immediately and then it doesn't have reborn anymore. Those are my 2 guesses as far as what the key phrase reborn does. I'll have to just wait until I find out and can play the cards, I imagine. Next we have a 5 mana spell called Plague of Wrath. Destroy all damaged minions. Again, not hard to damage all the minions on the field as a warrior. This might be a better card than something like Brawl, which was the card before this one that you would rely on to try and destroy all minions on the field, or most minions on the field except for 1. So this might be a nice removal spell type card or replacement for Brawl. Next we have a 6 mana 4 attack 7 health legendary minion called Megiddo Dillo. Like Armageddon and Armadillo mixed together. Again, they started with what looked like League of Explorer heroes, but half of these legendary cards are clearly the bad guys in the very loose narrative of this expansion. Clearly this is the ancient Egyptian monster race that seems to be fighting the League of Explorer group. Armageddon Dillo has taunt, and at the end of your turn you give all taunt minions in your hand +2/+2. That is not bad at all for a taunt deck. With this, and let's see, what was the other one that seemed to specifically focus on taunt minions? Here it is. Into the Fray. With these 2 working together, because you could play this twice. If you have 2 copies of this, you could only play this once, unless you can make a copy of it, which is doable. You could start really buffing up your taunt minions in a taunt deck to the point where they're super powerful. You're still not fully implementing the concept of taunt, though. If there isn't at least one weaker minion that doesn't have taunt on the field, something that's health is not that high, if you fill up all 7 of the possible positions on your side of the field with taunt minions, then it's just your opponent's pick to decide which ones they're going to attack, which kind of is not the point of taunt. The point of taunt is to make your opponent regret having to attack the minion with who has taunt, because they prefer to either hit the hero directly or hit something that's weaker or something that that has more attack. I guess 7 taunt minions on the field, though, would give you 7 more opportunities to keep your hero from taking damage. So it's still very useful. Next we have a 6 mana, 6 attack, 7 health minion called the Armored Goon. Whenever your hero attacks, gain 5 armor. This is probably too expensive for what you're getting there. Playing several weapons to then get this reward to also then play this on the 6th turn and have another weapon so that you could attack on the 6th turn, or have a weapon equipped so you can attack on the 6th turn. It's asking a lot. What's interesting, I would say here too, is it's giving you 5 armor, but armor at this point has been mostly forgotten. Yes, it's the default hero ability of the warrior, and yes, there's plenty of cards that let you gain armor, but there's no real synergy or anything you can do with the armor. Shield Slam, I think, is in Wild and would deal the amount of armor you have as damage to a minion, but there's nothing else that I know of that even synergizes with armor. It's just kind of an extra thing. In a weird way, the special abilities, where the druid can give himself 1 attack and 1 armor, or the mage can do 2 damage, or the rogue can equip a 1/1 weapon or 1/2 weapon, are kind of different than, well, druid isn't, but than warrior, which introduces the whole system of armor, or shaman, which introduces the whole system of overload, and nothing else does overload but shaman. So every hero class has these special effects, special abilities, special gameplay mechanics, and they've not really expanded enough on those. At this point, over 5 years into Hearthstone, it's probably time that they introduce a whole new collection of heroes. And there's different ways you could do it. You could have a female druid character that does something different as its basic hero ability. You could have gender flip them, since most of them are males. The mage and the rogue are the only female characters, I think. So if you just gender flipped it, there'd be 2 guys in the second group, and then you could have a whole new spin on Hearthstone and change the game from the beginning. Just playing as a hunter and having a different ability other than doing 2 damage by default would be really interesting. And we've seen them experiment with this in single player expansions and in tavern brawls, but they've not committed to just making ranked play that way. And I think it's a mistake on their part. Anyways, I've gotten into a rant and I'm trying to wrap up here. The last card we have here is 8 mana, 3 attack, 6 health. It is a mech minion called the Detune Warden. This is about the 4th or 5th mech that's been added. It's nice that they haven't forgotten the mechs. There really was only like one pirate that was added in this expansion, but they haven't really synergized or done anything with the mechs. This one has taunt and a battle cry to summon a copy of this minion. So on the 8th turn you get what is effectively a 6/12 minion, which isn't terrible if you just need a taunt minion, but not particularly great. And we're done. I barely recall what we looked at first on neutral cards, but yeah, there's not a lot of synergy happening between these new cards. Mostly they seem like they're just replacements and mediocre cards just to fill out the numbers. It feels like they've made a major mistake in the fact that they wanted to have 3 expansions this year, when I don't think that Hearthstone needed 3 expansions. I think they would have been way better off if they put more effort and more thought into it and had 1, maybe 2 expansions per year as far as how the expansions come out. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this recording and all the recordings. I will break up these videos and put them up later on, so if you're watching the live stream, that's gonna happen. That's it for this recording. YouTube basically twists my arm and makes me say this every time. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. Even if you don't want to, even if you're just going to put a smiley face in the comment or something like that, all of that tells YouTube's algorithm that my videos are worth watching. When you subscribe, you have to go through a whole bunch of hoops to click the notification bell and get down into the options to actually get all notifications. And even then, you're not really guaranteed with notifications, so it's a good backup to follow me on some of the social media sites that I have listed down below. And if you want to support my channel and cut YouTube out completely, there's a link down below to Patreon, which you could pledge to donate monthly, or you could friend me on Steam and gift me a game off my wishlist, or gift me a gift card, which is a one-time purchase. Steam games can be incredibly cheap, or you could be very generous and gift a $60 to $100 game if you want to be that generous. That's it for this recording. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.